Topic: The last letter. As the sun set on the small town of Millfield, Indiana, Sarah sat at her desk, pen in hand, and tears streaming down her face. She had just finished writing her last letter to her husband, who had passed away from cancer the week before. In the letter, Sarah poured out her heart, telling him how much she missed him and how she wished he was still there with her. She talked about their memories together, the good times, and the bad, and how much she loved him. As she sealed the envelope, Sarah felt a sense of closure. She knew that this would be the last time she would write to him, but she also knew that he would always be with her in spirit. The next day, Sarah went to the post office to mail the letter. As she walked out, she saw a man sitting on the bench outside. He looked up at her and smiled, and Sarah felt a strange sense of familiarity. "Excuse me," the man said. "I couldn't help but notice the letter you just mailed. Is everything okay?" Sarah hesitated for a moment, but then she found herself opening up to the stranger. The man shared that since his wife died, he writes to her every day. Sarah found comfort in the stranger and realized that she's not alone in her grief. The stranger's words ignite a passion in Sarah to keep her husband's memory alive and continue writing to him as well. The last letter provided her with closure and opened a new chapter in Sarah's life. She told him about her husband and how she had just written her last letter to him. The man listened intently, and then he reached into his pocket and pulled out a letter of his own. "I lost my wife a few years ago," he said. "I still write to her every day. It helps me feel like she's still with me." Sarah felt a sense of comfort in knowing that she wasn't alone in her grief. She thanked the man and walked away, feeling a little lighter than before. As she drove home, Sarah thought about the man and his letter. She realized that even though her husband was gone, he would always be a part of her life, and as long as she kept writing to him, he would always be with her in some way. Sarah smiled through her tears, knowing that her last letter was just the beginning of a new chapter in her life.